welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Oline and I'm a knitter from Norway, and I love doing what I knit in a week videos where I just see how much knitting I can squeeze into everyday life, how many like 5 minutes I can find throughout my day to just knit here and there. And if I sit, I knit. That's kind of my motto, and I really love making these videos because they really remind me to take every opportunity I have to knit and to always also see all the like amazing things with everyday life. And I especially love making these videos around holidays or special occasions, and this week is Easter, and I also think that knitting is a quite large part of Easter in Norway. At least from what I'm used to, everyone goes skiing with their knitted sweaters, especially this knitted pattern is seen everywhere. Of course, Easter this year is quite late, so I don't know how much skiing there will be, but I think knitting is a really large part of Easter, and it's going to be a large part of my Easter, so I really wanted to take you guys along with me and see how much I get to knit during this week. I have so many projects and I would take you guys through them, but I honestly have so many I don't know where all of them are. And also we are going ice fishing in just a couple of minutes. I don't really have the time, but this week I'm just going to have to introduce you guys to the projects as I'm working on them and go from there. But yeah, I really wanted to share this week with you and to also see how much I can knit. I hope you'll want to knit with me this week. I finally have a bit better time now to introduce you to my projects. I know you have seen at least 2 of them yesterday because I did get to do quite a lot on 2 of them yesterday and finish off like quite big parts of those patterns yesterday. But I wanted to introduce you to, if not all of my whips, at least the ones I really hope to work on. And honestly, I really hope to finish them this week because my head needs these needles to be cleared, so I wanted to show my projects. And then first up I'll show what I've been working on the most. This is a project I started on in November that I've been really struggling to work on ever since. This is the Alfred sweater by Petiteknit. I'm knitting it in size 5 to 6 years, which was so much bigger of a size than I had imagined when starting it. And I was stuck like right here for so long. And then this week I decided I just need to pick it up. I need it off my needles. I'm feeling bad about this sweater constantly. So I have been knitting away at the body, and it's taken so long. This is also structured. I don't know if you can see the structure this has. It's a ribbed structure, but I have been able to work on this quite a lot this week, and then yesterday I just did the ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, finished that up, and also I did the Italian bind off on that, so it took forever to do. And then I've started on the sleeve, and now I'm feeling really hopeful that I can finish this. If not today, then I honestly think I could finish this tomorrow, which feels so great to finally have this off my shoulders. This has been weighing on me for so long since I've just neglected it. But that is the Alfred sweater, and I'm knitting that in Thin Merino from Sandnes Garn in a discontinued color. And then the other project I worked on yesterday is a pretty new project. I cast this on pretty recently, and that is the Zipper Sweater Junior for my son. I'm knitting this in size 6 to 7 years, but I had a bit of... I was stressing yesterday because this looks really small, and I measured this part here from when you start the raglan to when you stop it, and it does not measure enough. I think it's not a big difference from the other zipper sweater I've made him before, and it's several centimeters shorter than the Zipper Sweater Light Junior I've made for him in size 5 to 6 years, so I don't know what's gone wrong here. I also should be able to like block out. It also might be that the Zipper Sweater Light is just bigger than it's supposed to be. I don't know, but it's making me a bit stressed. It's still going to fit because I made it in a really big size, but it might not be actually size 6 to 7 years, but that's the size I am knitting. I did finish I finished the first couple of increases that you do for the sleeve as well. Then I connected in the round, and then I finished all of the raglan increases and put the sleeves to rest. Now this circular that I'm working on is honestly a bit too big to get into a really nice working flow, but these are my interchangeables, and the other cable for them broke, so I can't really make it any shorter, and I don't have other 5mm needles, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So this is on a bit of a break, but this has worked up really quickly. It is really fun on 5mm needles, but I am a bit stressed now that it seems to be a bit small. If you have knit a Zipper Sweater Junior before, I would love to hear like your measurements for this area, because I'm stressing out, but that's it for now. I really hope to be able to finish this week too, honestly, because I have been able to do so much in just a couple of days, but with the sewing in of the zipper and everything surrounding that, I think I probably won't be able to, but it's a dream of mine. So that's another thing I've been working a lot on. And then the two other projects are bigger projects, one for my mom and one for myself. And those are also both really close to being done, so I hope to finish them this week. And then the first one is this from my mom. This really has like priority over all the other knits, but I need my mom to try it on before I can continue. I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I forgot it at home when we were visiting, so I'm going to do that today. Bring this to her, get her to try it on, and then see how much extra length I have to add to this sleeve. And once I figure that out, I should be able to finish it today or tomorrow, because this is on 8mm needles and it's working up really quickly. This is the Comfy Cable Sweater by Knitting the Mojo. I'm a bit unsure about the designer name, but yeah, this is the sweater I'm knitting for my mom. All of this took me about a week to do, so I should be able to finish like the last part of the sleeve and the second sleeve today or tomorrow, and then I will finally be done with this. And I'm really excited about that, because my yarn corner here now, I have multiple yarn corners, but this is where I usually work on my knits, and this I don't know if you can see, but there's like yarn everywhere. sweaters, scrap yarn. There's just a lot of things everywhere, so I'm ready to get some of these huge projects out of the way. But this is definitely going to be the priority after I get my mom to try it on. And then the last thing I hope to work on this week that I already have on my needles is this one. This is my sweater number 14 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's been on my needles for a month and a half now, just because I keep procrastinating this. This keeps being the one I put away when I want to work on other things. But I am really close to finishing it now. I am on the ribbing on the body, and this is also a quite large needle, so it goes by quite quickly. Just need to do the ribbing here, and then the sleeves, which these sleeves also don't have any decreases, so once I've picked up, it's just go, do the cuff and then done. So I also think this might be doable to finish this week, but that comes down to how many other projects I decide to do and how much else I decide to cast on. I do have 2 projects planned that I really want to cast on during Easter, and it's on during Easter, and then I have some other yarn that I think suits Easter very well, like some yellows and things that I want to work on. So I don't know how much I'm going to be casting on, but I am trying to clear my needles, so I'm trying to hold off. But that's the last one. This is knit in Wish, by the way, the one for my mom, and this is knit in Drops Nepal, and this is knit in Drops Puna and Drops Baby Merino in, I think this is charcoal grey and this is beige grey or grey beige, and together they make this quite nice marling effect. But those are all of the projects I'm currently working on, and then if I decide to cast on anything else, I'll give you an update on that as well. Hi, I just am trying to film this update in between everything else we're doing, but I wanted to, before I give this away, let you know that it's done. You have seen me cast it off on wavy ends, but it's done now. I am going to give it to my mom now. I don't know if I'll be able to see her try it on now because she's quite busy, but I'll be able to give it away, which I'm really excited about. Here it is. I hope the sleeves and body is long enough. My mom said last time we tried it on when the body was done that she was fine with that. And I did make the sleeves really long. They are super long on me, so I hope they will be long enough on her. But this is it, finally finished, first finished project this week, and it's always fun to finish the big chunky projects because you get to log having finished so much yarn, both in weight and meters. So that's my first finished thing. And then I wanted to tell you about what I cast on. I know you've seen me cast it on, and you've also seen this book, but this is of course a Norwegian book, so I'm now filming it is also making it hard to read. But this is a Marius book all about Marius patterns for babies, the regular, like the original sweater, all kinds of Marius things. And I am making this one for my son. It's been a plan of mine for I think 2 years or something now, and it's finally on my needles. I am, however, making it in a size larger than what I got yarn for, because as I said, I got yarn 2 years ago, and these sizes, they are size 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, and 6 years. And I'm doing it in size 6 years instead of 4 years, because it is already almost 4 years, and I'm not going to stick a project. He's just going to be able to wear for a couple of months. So already, just right off the start, we are playing yarn sticking. I don't know how that's going to go, but I have faith. Let me just grab the project. I have gotten quite far. I want to say that I am at least over halfway of what I'm supposed to do before starting the color work. Here you can see I also modified it and added Italian cast on, just because I prefer that. Both for casting on and for how the finished thing looks. So I've gotten quite far. I'm going to start the color work soon. I am super scared of the steeking, even though that's way in the future, and then also having to sew on the sleeves. I don't know how that's going to go. The delusional part of me really wants this to be done before Easter is done. Like Monday is the last possible day. I think it should be possible, but it really depends on that steeking part, because the knitting part I think I have down. I have knit some sort of Marius patterning loads of times, but never sticked anything before, so that's really what it comes down to. But that is the first cast on of the week, and then yeah, I have knit on some other things, but I haven't made any major progress other than that. But those are the things I wanted to update on, and now we need to get going. Hi, I'm once again back with a tiny little update, this time from my parents' cabin. This is the most Easter-like place I know of. I've spent every Easter here. This is the last day this Easter that we're going to be here. I think this is day 3 of us being here. We got here on Thursday, I think. But I wanted to give a tiny little update on my projects because if you know me, I don't pack lightly when I go anywhere. So I have brought me quite a lot. First to the project I haven't really had the time to work on while here. We have this one. I've knit on this quite a lot earlier this week, but nothing here. So not going to say anything about that, but I brought the yarn to finish it. Just haven't had the time. And then the Zipper Sweater Junior, also brought more yarn, haven't had the time, and also lacking a bit in motivation since it is looking really small. And then I am just saving the best for last. I started on this yesterday just because my main project right now is growing quite big and I wanted something just easy and kind of mindless to knit on. So I started on this with the Drops Nepal yarn I also brought here just because this I couldn't go to the Easter cabin without Easter yarn. This is going to be, I think it's called Lilleharepuslue by, I don't know the designer. My mom just recommended me this pattern for the yarn because I didn't know what to do. And this is also going to get some little Easter bunny ears. This is in size, I think, 4 to 12 years. So hopefully it will fit my son for at least a couple of Easters. This knit up really quickly. I made quite a few changes to the design. I didn't want to start here and then pick up for ears. So I started with the I-cord and then just cast on in between. I also moved the ears closer together in the back so it would get a better fit in my opinion. But other than that, I followed the pattern. Now I'm going to start on the ears, which I'm not super excited about because I don't love having to knit ears and then sew them on later, but I think it will be worth it for this. My son's already really excited and I have almost used up the Nepal yarn I brought. I'm now a bit into the second skein. And then the main project that I have been working on lately is, of course, the Marius sweater. I did finish the body on, what was it? I think I finished the body on Thursday. So here is the body. I'm really pleased with how this looks. It looks long enough. The pattern, the color work looks quite even, or as even as it can be now before washing. So I am really happy with this. And then I have also started on the sleeve. I am almost finished with the first sleeve actually, but I am still a bit behind schedule because today is Saturday and my goal the whole time has been to have both the body and both sleeves done by Saturday so I can, because I knew that would be my last day here, so that when I went down from the cabin I could get my grandma to help me with the steeking. I'm not quite there, but maybe by tonight I will be there so I can get her help tomorrow maybe. I have started the color work on the sleeve as well. The color work on the sleeve also isn't as long, so there really isn't that much left here, and then I just have to copy it. And the second sleeve always goes by much quicker for me, so I really hope that will help. Then I have to figure out what to do with the neck, so that hopefully I'm done with everything and I just have to get my grandma's help to do the actual steeking. That would be my dream goal. I also have a friend that's done steeking before, but she doesn't live here, but I might also call her to get her help remotely. But that's the Marius so far. Also, I don't love traveling with DPNs actively in my projects, but there's not really much I can do about it now since I've started this sleeve, so I'll just have to be really careful because I'm always terrified of breaking my needles. I'm really fond of these needles. I've had them for I think almost 4 years now and they are really great. It's the Drops DPNs. I like them. They're also wooden, so they make me really scared of breaking them. So I'll have to be really careful, but those are all of my projects right now. I am really excited about them. I have one more that I so desperately want to be able to cast on while I'm here, because I did cast on my Easter project here last year, my Easter project for myself, and I want to do that again this year to kind of start a tradition. And if you know me, I love to tie memories to my knitting projects. I think it would be perfect to cast it on here, but I don't have very long left if I'm going to be able to do that. But this is the yarn for the Dawn to Dusk Shacket. So as you can tell, I brought with me more than enough yarn. I also have all of the yarn to finish the Marius sweater here. This is all that's left of the yarn from the Marius. Also, of course, this red, but I'm not going to be able to run through this. But I'm feeling pretty confident about the yarn chicken with the Marius right now, but you never know what's going to happen. But that is the update on all of my projects. I really hope I'll be able to finish at least one more project this Easter. And hopefully that will be the Marius one. I still have until Monday, so fingers crossed. Hi, I am back. I wanted to do a last update or kind of summary of this week of knitting and Easter. It ended up being a tiny bit more than a week, I think, because I really wanted to see some projects through. But I'm here with the summary. I've also decided to film it here since this is where I actually sit when I do most of my knitting. So I think all of my projects already were here, so it was just easier to do it like this. I'm really excited to go through everything from this week. I don't know where to start, but I think we're going to start with everything I was able to finish. Of course, the first thing I finished I don't have here with me. I've already given that to my mom, but I have talked to you about it before and you have seen it. I also have a whole video about that sweater. But after that, I have finished 2 more projects. And first off, of course, I had to knit with my yellow yarn, and when I asked my mom and she suggested this pattern, it was absolutely perfect. It's the perfect pattern for the color of the yarn. It was the perfect both pattern and yarn to work with during Easter, and my son has been so happy to wear this. He has been jumping around saying he's the Easter bunny, so this has just been an amazing pattern. This is the Lilleharepuslue by Mini Modus. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I used Drops Nepal. I used almost 2 skeins to do the size 4 to 12 years. But I also made a lot of modifications. I added in these ear cuffs. I don't know how to say it. I also decided to start from the I-cord and knit up instead of starting here and picking up for these that you're not even supposed to do. So I did make some changes, but I used almost 2 full skeins of Nepal to do this, and that was also a really just fun project to do on 5mm needles, and it always is a great motivation boost when my son's so happy to get something. And then the big Easter project which has like been the Easter project, and I also really wanted to get done for Easter. I didn't really get it done for Easter, but I got it done kind of during Easter. I got it done yesterday, which was the last possible day, and that is the Marius for my son. This is a crazy project to me. This has been my first time knitting something steeked where I've actually been involved with the steeking. I have made a Marius sweater like this for myself years ago. I was probably like 10, so I was not very involved after the knitting was done. But for this I have actually been involved, and I did sew this part here. I did sew that down on both sides, at least half of it on both sides, and then one of the sleeves I also did sew in. So I'm proud of this. Also the neck, which has these little points, which I thought was really cute. Really happy about this one. The sleeves they have one difference. I don't know if it's super major, but on this where it's sewed above this, there isn't as much red above here as it is here, but I don't think that that's a difference you really see from here that much, and you definitely won't see it when my son's wearing it and like running around. So I've decided to leave it. I tried sewing in this sleeve probably 20 times, just again and again and again and again, and then when I was almost done the last time I noticed that difference, so I have decided to just leave it. But I'm so happy and proud about this project. It did turn out really great, and I was kinda able to stick to the time frame I wanted. This is knit in Sandnes Garn Merino Ull, which is a really great yarn because it's soft, but it also was kind of horrible to work with, especially for the sewing part, because it untwists so easily, so it was kind of hard to work with. But yeah, this is in Sandnes Garn. It's also in size 6 years, and it does fit. The neck is quite tight, but since this is a boat neck, I wanted it to be quite a tight fit over the head, so it wouldn't be so wide when it's actually on. So yeah, that is the Marius. Nothing screams Easter as much as this does. These together would be also cute. I am just so happy with this, and I am definitely going to make a matching family match in Marius sweaters, both for me and my husband and my son. Luckily I made this big enough so I have some time to get to that family match, but this is definitely the project for me this Easter. And then because of the Marius sweater and that really becoming my, like, this is the project I'm working on, what I worked on earlier this week has kind of fallen to the side. So that is both this zipper sweater, which I haven't worked on since like the very first update I did. I have also noticed that it's weird the way it fits and the size, and then I have also been told that there is an update to the pattern that I don't have, so I need to figure out what the updated pattern says and what I'm going to do from here. No matter what, I need to frog some because this raglan depth just isn't enough, but I haven't wanted to do anything with this when I've had the Marius, but this is going to come back into rotation now, also now that all of the holiday is over. I'm going to reach out to Petiteknit and her support team to try to get the updated pattern. And then we have this one, which I did quite a lot on this week. I'm really happy with my progress. It was really great to feel like I was making progress on this, and now I only have the second sleeve left, which in my opinion is better than the first sleeve, so I really hope that this is a project I'm going to be able to finish during this next week. I did want to be able to do it this week too, but this is a quite large sweater on tiny needles with thin yarn, so it does take a lot of time with this structure as well. So I didn't get there this week, but I did get a lot closer and motivate myself a lot more, so I really think I should be able to get to it this week. But yeah, I did make a fair bit of progress, and then I think the last one, I've worked on so much, I've kind of I don't have an overview of it, but the last thing is that I cast on this. It's really hard to see. I'm also really unsure about the gauge of this, but it looks tight now, but I think once it's blocked it will be perfect. But I've started the Dawn to Dusk Shacket, which is a dream knit of mine. As I said, you can't really see much now, but I'm working on the back yoke. I did cast this on. I was just barely able to cast it on while I was still at my parents' cabin, and then I've worked on it just a tiny bit here and there when I've not been able to work on the Marius. So I've done a tiny little bit, but the Marius really has been the main focus, and I did actually knit the whole Marius during this week. So yeah, that was my... No, I actually have some more. I have also started crocheting a little bit because we are renovating our kitchen, and I really wanted to add more color in there. It's looking quite white right now, and I really want to have more flowers, but I'm really bad at keeping up with it, so I thought crochet flowers is probably the way to go. So I've started a little bit. I made 2 off-white or white carnations, which I'm really happy with how these look. Of course, none of them have stems yet, so that does change the look a little bit, but I have 2 carnations. And then I have this one that I made for the first time ever that is impossible to show. But this is a lavender in a too dark color, I think. I'm a bit unsure about how I feel about this one. That's why I've only made one. I really need to get this on a stem before I do anything more. And then I've made like half of the Calla Lily 5 times. I've made the petal, and then I need to do the yellow thing in here. But I've done 5 of this, and the reason I have so much in this lilac is that that's my husband's favorite color, and especially the combination of like these 2 colors together, or like here the yellow is that I'm going to use. This is his absolute favorite, so that's why I'm doing so much of it. And then I have more of like my flower yarn in this yard here, so I am going to make loads of different flowers, so we can also just like keep rotating what flowers we have on display. I think that would be really fun, and then they won't wilt, they won't die, it won't be as much upkeep as living flowers, I think, hopefully. But it will still add color to our house. So this is actually Sandnes Garn Double Sunday, and this is Drops Merino Extra Fine. I don't know the actual color name for them, but this is also outlet yarn, so I don't know if it had a name, but that is what I've been working on this week. I have been having such a fun week. I've been knitting a lot, but it hasn't felt forced at all. None of the projects have felt really like forced and like I've been on a tight timeline and had to stress through it. Like, I had a very clear goal with this, but it was just for fun and just for me. So it's been really nice to have this week of knitting where I've just cast on whatever I wanted, worked on whatever I wanted, and just had so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the absolute world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!